Yes, guys, welcome back to Jason Green Arrow. This Monday, we're looking ahead to game week 37. I'm Gianni, and I'm joined by regular co-host all the way from San Diego, Mr. Dean Jones. Dean, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm relieved, G, because I was expecting a bad game week. I was expecting a red arrow. I didn't. I got a green arrow. I came out of it with 57 points, and that is a big relief because I didn't make a transfer. I took a couple of punts. Obviously, I went with Gvardiol as captain. Went against the whole Burmo trend. I kept Jamie Vardy in my team. I had Morgan Rogers when most people would kind of got rid of him. My most disappointing factor was that at the last minute, I benched both of my Newcastle defenders.
Ooh.
Now, I said on here on Friday, no, I'm going big on Newcastle. They're going to beat Chelsea. They're going to smash them. And then people were like, no, they're not. And I was like, oh, maybe they won't actually. Yeah, that's a good point. So I took Livramento out, stuck him on the bench alongside Dan Burn, and combined they got 18 points, which I could really have done with instead of Kirkes's 2. But whatever, like I did it. It doesn't matter. I got 57 points. I'm on that 200k cusp. And yeah, in my mini league, which is what I usually focus on, I'm second. I'm 45 points behind the guy winning. That's a big amount to catch up. So I want to catch him. So I'm going to do a couple of weird things in the next couple of weeks to try that.
I like that very much. Glad to hear it. I was on bench boost. It was the worst bench boost ever. It got me something like, I've not even added up the points. Not that it would take long. It was something like 5 or 6 points on bench boost. It was, but I didn't really think about who was on my bench. You can spin it to how you want, I guess. Like I had 8 Nori for what, a 1 or 2 pointer. It very easily could have been Livramento for his 7. Like I don't quite know how I would have got bench boost. I never really thought about what defenders I pick. And the other defender that wasn't on my bench was Collins, who got 8. So yeah, I got a green arrow as well. What really hit me was the Palace players, though. I got a green arrow, but it was a much bigger green before Crystal Palace played. We're going to talk about Crystal Palace tonight because they were super impressive. And the world and their dog seems to have double or triple Crystal Palace, because if you wildcarded when the template wildcarded, you're big on Palace. I have 0 because I've been playing different.
But it's hard, isn't it? Like this week on Palace is hard.
Now that's why we're going to talk about them today, because they've been amazing. But you've got to offload a couple of them. You've just got to go there. So look, let's get into that chat around the FA Cup finalists and their fixtures, which will be 3 days after the final.
Yeah.
First, though, so many in the chat. Good to see they're still coming back, Dean. Our chasers are still with us in game week 37.
A loyal army, mate. A loyal army. And actually, a big shout out to all of our WhatsApp crew, the Chasing Green Arrows elite crew. Where I must say, the cup is getting tasty, G. Now, don't forget, it's not just mini leagues. You also have cup competitions. And I'm in the semi-final of the Chasing Green Arrows Elite Members Cup. I beat Paul G this week, and Paul is like flying in FPL this season. He's there or thereabouts on 10k, I think. And I was playing him in the quarterfinal, and I beat him just by a few points. And I've now got one of our members, Tom, in the semi-final this week, and the other semi is Nathan versus Abby. So shouts out to those guys. As I said to them, I always win a trophy in my 11th season. So I'm very confident that me and Ange Postecoglou are gonna do this. He's gonna win one, and I'm gonna win one. So yeah, shouts out to them. Most people don't pay attention to the cups, and I'm not sure I ever have before, but I am now because I might actually win a trophy.
Oh, I love that very much. Maliki says, I'm watching this for therapy at this stage. Love that, Maliki. Manoj should have got me so much more. Wow, that feels greedy, but I hear you. He did have a worldie. He did have a haul. He could have had a monster haul, and I'm talking like 20 points. It was that good. I would say Manoj is the best defender in the game, probably for the second half of the season. I bought him around in game week 20, I think, and yeah, it was was very happy to drop out the very template Gabriel, and Munoz smashed him. Hi Chase, like green arrows everywhere except CGA. Oh, Sigurd, that must show the strength and depth of our mini league, because they're getting so much brilliant advice from me and Dean, clearly, and obviously Big Man.
Yeah, I mean, let's just have a quick look.
He's laughing. He's going to be laughing with Eze, isn't he, Big Man? 35 points in 2 weeks.
First thing I thought of, Big Man's doing really well at the moment. Fair play to him. In our actual Chasing Green Arrows League, the leader is Bjarke Fredsland. He's got 2,592 points. I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's like, well, the guy who's winning it actually at the moment is 100 points clear of that. I mean, that guy's score is absolutely extraordinary.
He's 50 points of second, the guy winning it.
Yeah, that is extraordinary. Lovro is absolutely smashing it this season. But yeah, our leader is right up there with a score like that. Steve Bunn, he's second. Steve's been up there all season, by the way. I've been noticing that name as I keep an eye on this league. No one who I actually recognize from this conversation that we have every single week is like up there. Like,
no PS5,
give us a shout out as to where you are in the Chasing Green Arrows mini league, because I hope some of you are up there vying for a European finish. We've
given out 2 or 3 PS5s on this channel, guys. So, there's no prize this season, but just to put it out there, like we've been generous. We've been generous. We've also had on this show, former England footballer Dean Ashton. We've had Fabrizio Romano. We've had Jules Breach and Kelly Summers, Olivia Bazaglo. We've had some big names on this show.
They've all gone on to bigger and better things.
yeah, probably more, but they've loved coming on. But yeah, and now we have Big Man instead. To be fair, world number 4, former world number 4 Big Man backer.
He's better than all those people at FPL, so that's what matters.
Exactly, and he is by some distance. So look, we said we're going to talk about some of the teams 2 teams in particular. For the first thing on my mind this week, and we'll touch on captaincy and we'll touch on the week just gone, but I want to just discuss where we're at with Man City and Crystal Palace, who play in the FA Cup final this weekend. But then rather than blank game week, they don't. They've had their fixtures rearranged for Tuesday. So Crystal Palace will play Wolves. So Wolves will be fresh, but Palace won't be. And Man City play Bournemouth. Same. Are we thinking if the team wins, they're going to, especially like if it's Crystal Palace, Crystal Palace going to be in party mode if they win, and therefore heavily rotate for Wolves on the Tuesday night?
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely going to party, aren't they? Like, Palace winning a trophy is massive, whereas for Man City, it's just like by the by. So
Man City still need Champions League. With the losing points to Southampton was bad for them.
Bad. I mean, that was one of the worst 45 minutes they've ever under Pep Guardiola. It was terrible. Probably deserved something in the end. But yeah, British 87 says, I'm starting Munoz regardless. I think Munoz is one of those that you're still okay with.
I think he starts. He's the only one. I would be worried about Eze, definitely Mateta, definitely Sarr. Munoz plays every bloody minute. Even when he's been on international duty in Colombia, he'll play on like the Wednesday night in Colombia and still make Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff. No problem at all.
Yeah, so he's my Palace asset, and I'm safe with that one. So I'm actually okay with Palace, and I won't be signing anyone else. Even though, it might be a celebratory mood and they go and beat Wolves as well. Who knows? But, I mean, this is everything for them, this cup final, isn't it? They're going to leave their souls and their bodies on the line at Wembley. So they're going to give it everything. So, interesting.
Could go 120 minutes. If it goes 120 minutes, we're not going to be able to react to that because obviously the FPL deadline's Friday. So that will be interesting. Maybe even Munoz doesn't start on Tuesday if it goes 120 minutes.
Maybe, yeah. I guess if it goes extra time, that's true. I mean, Man City, mate, are
let's talk Man City. We've got some stuff to show on City. So that this is their, I think, their pass map or the XG plot. We've got a couple of bits from Man City versus Southampton. I mean, Dean, it was a very one-sided affair, but talk about tiki-taka. They just couldn't create big chances. Like Haaland's first shot came in the 93rd minute, I think it was. This is their pass map. Look how high up, even the centre-back's average position is in the opponent's half. You never see that. This is like just camped on the Southampton 18-yard line. But then when we look at the shot map, we'll come back to this in a minute, but let's just look at that shot map. The bigger the circle, the bigger the chance. And often in a game, you'll see 2 or 3 massive circles for the big chances, especially Man City. You expect them to get it. But when we see the shot map, look, it's like 25 tiny little dots. None of them big chances.
None of them big chances. And at the end of the day, bringing in Haaland cost them the game. He shouldn't have come in for the start.
True.
They started to find a rhythm. They had something that worked. And Pep, he went for it. He maybe, like we said the other day, Haaland put the pressure on because he wants the golden boot and thought he could get a few goals against Southampton.
Yeah.
Apart from like trying to pick up crosses at the far post with his head, which he was basically trying to knock back a cross goal rather than even score, wasn't a lot there for Haaland. And I think it was a massive mistake to start Haaland for that game and not Marmoush and get away from the rhythm and the patterns that they'd been playing. Obviously, I guess he wanted him in ready for the cup final, but Haaland played the entire game.
I was shocked. I said all week, if he starts, it's only 60.
He went the distance. I said, Pep said afterwards, like, well, I kept it on in the end because we needed a goal. And it's like, well, yeah, but it wasn't working. Like, he was part of the problem, unfortunately. Like, I know he's like the best goal scorer in the world potentially, but like, it wasn't his day. So Marmoush comes on eventually and actually nearly scores. Probably comes the closest to scoring from what I remember.
What a shot that was. I mean, it was almost like he had a point to prove. He came on and was like, hit the Denver bar straight away.
I'm sure he's annoyed. I'm sure Marmoush will be annoyed. And I think there's actually reason still to keep Marmoush.
Yeah.
That second, that Tuesday night game.
Do you reckon Marmoush would start both then? Because surely Marmoush starts the final, but then we expect Haaland to start the final as well, do we? I think we do now. He wouldn't have played 90 versus Southampton if he weren't going to play the final.
I think Pep Roulette really is impossible this week because I don't understand what Pep's been building towards for the cup final.
Yeah. Like didn't even play De Bruyne in the semi, but then De Bruyne's had all the league minutes.
Had all the league minutes. Seems undroppable. Yeah, it wouldn't totally surprise me if he left him out and played Marmoush and played Haaland instead. I don't think he'll play those
3 of them together.
He won't play the 3 of them, will he?
He's still not played the 3 of them together. And then the weekend, they're all in the match day squad and didn't play them together. I wonder, though, you've said for a while with De Bruyne minutes, the home fixtures are safe. He has to start Bournemouth at home, right? And if he is starting Bournemouth at home and he does start the FA Cup final, that'd be 3 starts in like 8-9 days. De Bruyne ain't starting or having 3 sets of 90 in 8-9 days. So are we thinking he could, one, miss the FA Cup final and come on as an impact sub, get his medal, whatever?
Yeah.
Or is there a world in which he does start the FA Cup final and doesn't start Bournemouth and gets half an hour? But it feels wrong not to start him in his last ever game at the Etihad, doesn't it? Would he wouldn't take half an hour at the end there, would he?
I think there's more chance of him starting the league game, than the cup final.
Yeah.
I find it impossible to believe he doesn't start his last game at the Etihad.
Yeah.
But he's still a good pick.
He might get a sympathy penalty.
He might.
If they're 2-0 up.
If Haaland's willing to give it away, But one of my conundrums is because I want to win this mini league, the guy I'm up against has got De Bruyne and I haven't got him. So there's no point me signing De Bruyne.
No.
So I'm not going to do it.
Has he got Marmoush?
No.
Have you still got Marmoush?
Yeah.
So you're good. You've got that. You got that attack covered.
So I've got that over him. Yeah. So that's. This is the sort of stuff I'm looking at now. Now his front line is Mateta, Isak, Visser, which is I've got Isak, but I might not have him for this game week.
We'll talk about a popular move this week, which is going to be Isak out, Watkins in, because I think Watkins is going to get a lot of love with the armband as well.
Yeah. This graphic's interesting.
Didn't start his last game at home, says Freddie. Yeah, but Aguero wasn't. By the time Aguero left, it wasn't like he had just started the last 6 league games.
Forget about that.
He was on the fringes for a while and injured.
It's totally irrelevant. This map. I mean,
let's summarize on Man City and then move on to Palace.
Look at them.
It's ridiculous. They're all playing in the same 20% of the pitch.
It's ridiculous.
And no one's that wide. Like, when you're that compact or that high up, you need 2 players on the touchline. You need to use the width, right? And I know Doku came on at half time, and I'm guessing Doku's not on here because he didn't start. I'm guessing he stayed on the touchline, and that's what Pep thought they needed. But I mean, that is a ridiculous average position and pass map, isn't it? Look how much ball the 4 defenders have as well. The thick lines, the pass. Effectively, you're asking your centre backs to be your number 10s and your playmakers. That ain't gonna work. I don't want Ruben Diaz trying to thread a ball. Like, I want De Bruyne at quarterback, not Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, I mean, Ruben Diaz was getting into some good positions actually. Even when the balls were in the box and stuff, I'm like, is that Gvardiol? Is that Gvardiol? And it was always Ruben Diaz. It was always...
right. You've got 3 bonus, to be fair to him.
He was always there. Like, he was either the one picking up the shots on the edge of the box, or he was the one getting his head to things in the box.
Okay.
Which was really frustrating because I was hoping that would be Gvardiol, but I guess Gvardiol was in a different position for this one because he was on the left. He had 1, maybe 2 half chances in the box, Gvardiol, that both shots were blocked, which was frustrating. I mean, I got a clean sheet, which is what I was, that was the foundation of what I was going for. Yeah.
You were really close to bonus points. He must have just committed a couple of too many fouls or something.
I know, I was surprised. I didn't even get a 1-pointer off of him in the bonus stakes.
Yeah, in a 0-0, you expect Gvardiol getting 2 bonus at least. He's that good in the underlyings. Like, he is the bonus points hog of that back line. It just wasn't his day.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Man City. We're saying we think De Bruyne starts Bournemouth. We think probably Haaland doesn't start Bournemouth because he'll probably start the FA Cup. But let's see.
I don't know. He still might. Like, it's Haaland and it's different rules apply. Pep clearly can't resist playing him. Clearly.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
He didn't just play every minute in that game.
No. Even when you're chasing, like, it's only Southampton. You should be able to find a winner elsewhere. I mean, it's not like he hasn't got decent players on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, what about... barely got the ball into the City box. I think they had like 7 or 8 touches in the Man City box. Yeah. Unbelievable.
The key, by the way, to Gvardiol left back, as we said, is Akanji's return. So do look out for that because he is better from an FPL perspective usually at left back. Yeah. And Dean, I love the fact you captained him because you got more points from your captain than many did, All right, let's move on to Palace because Palace are interesting in terms of it was probably their best performance or one of their best performances of the season, although you've got to take it with a pinch of salt how Spurs rotated. But just look at this dominance from Crystal Palace. I had no Crystal Palace asset, and when I saw all the big points for Munoz and Eze, I was gutted, right? I felt like, was I hard done by? I got away with it. Palace should have scored 4 or 5. If they had, it would have been more Munoz and more Eze and more Sarr. Mateta's interesting. He really hasn't been the pick. It's been Eze over Mateta, and so many had that big dilemma. If they're spending 7 million-ish, do they buy Eze or Mateta? And fair play to all the Eze owners because he's been amazing in the last 3. But this just from start to finish, you can see chance, and good level chances as well by Palace. So we're thinking win or lose, there's a very good chance Mateta doesn't start on Tuesday night. Win or lose, do Eze, Sarr and Munoz start? That's the big question. I think we're all probably we're both in the camp of Munoz is the most likely to start Tuesday. But if you own a Sarr, for example, I'd probably sell him. If you need that place on the pitch, and if you own a Mateta, I'd probably sell him. So, Dean, who are the best Mateta replacements?
Oh, it depends really, like which fixture you trust. So if we just look through the teams to target, which is what you got to be doing, I genuinely think Jamie Vardy is an option.
Yeah, he is now. This is a good entry point for Vardy. Wissa was the love-in, right? The world and their dog went Marmoush to Wissa. But Cunha's an interesting option, who I went with, and so's Chris Wood.
Yeah. Both of those are definitely potentials. And who did Chelsea play up front against Man United?
I think Pedro Neto did well enough in the last stint there.
I think Pedro Neto is a good pick. Who's Chelsea's biggest goal threat?
Still Cole Palmer, probably.
Maybe apart from Palmer.
It could be Palmer number 9 as well. We have seen Maresca do that.
Maybe Palmer's an even better pick for this. I mean, I just don't fancy. I mean, we knew United would lose to West Ham. Like it was almost nailed on that they were going to put out a performance like that. And I just don't see them go to Chelsea and getting anything on Friday.
How much do they rotate? Because Same as Spurs, right? They play on Friday night games, and then is it 5 days to their final? What night of the week is their final? Is it a Wednesday or a Thursday?
I think it's the Wednesday.
So it'll be
Yeah.
5 days. So is there an argument to say both Spurs and Spurs especially this game Spurs versus Crystal Palace? Spurs rotated massively. Like Spurs will bring in most of their first choice 11, won't they? Will Man United do the same? And if so, does that make Cole Palmer and does that make Ollie Watkins, who plays Spurs, will come away from Spurs Palace now? Does that make
absolutely
some good, better picks or worse picks? Like
much better picks? Yeah. Eddie. Yeah, Jackson did get sent off. He kind of elbowed him forwards like that. Yeah, Ollie Watkins against Tottenham. I mean, it's bread and butter, isn't it? Like
he's this week's favourite captaincy option from a poll that had 7,500 votes for captaincy.
Really?
It was Watkins, and that was Let's Talk FPL. He had 35%.
Yeah.
A lot are going in Burmo and Salah still, 25% each, and then a few are going other. But Watkins
I'm not
is
sure about the Salah one. I don't know.
Well, Brighton haven't been the best defensively, but yeah, it's away from home as well. So Watkins, but it's going to be up against Spurs' first choice, but Spurs' first choice is still really leaky. That's the thing.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, does it? Yeah,
it doesn't matter now, guys.
It doesn't matter what version of Tottenham you're playing this week because their minds are not on it. That they've rotated at the weekend. It's a chance for some people to make a case for getting in that Europa final team, and I don't think. Let me just quickly look at the lineups to remind myself if
Spurs
anyone
literally B team. The weekend. I don't know how much Man United rotated.
Yeah, I don't think anyone from Tottenham has put forward a case that they should be playing in the final. Man United, like they did rotate, but like they still had Højlund, Fernandes, Ugarte, Mainu, Mazraoui, Yoro, Shaw, Diallo started. Like that's like 7-8 players that would regularly start. It's only like Harry Amas, Mason Mount, Bayindir that aren't really players that you would expect to be in a United 11. So that's just he's getting away with it at the moment, but this isn't really good enough from Amorim. Look at that. Malaki, member for 4 months. He says, Beto, captain, easy decision this week.
Oh, wow. We will get to captaincy, Malaki. I love that shout, but we will get to Everton in a minute. Let's just stick on the teams to target that we're saying. Is it Watkins versus Spurs, or should we chat Cole Palmer? Because we've got the Chelsea-Newcastle graphic to show as well. And Chelsea were bad, weren't they? But then is it just a case of that red card? Can we read? Although
probably. Yeah, I mean, obviously Newcastle scored very early in that game, so Jackson was still on the pitch. But obviously the whole game changes after the red card, and it's hard to read into what would have happened. Chelsea are poor, obviously. It doesn't really matter that they've got a cup final because I don't know that the players might care about it. The fans don't, I believe. Like, I've got mates who are Chelsea season ticket holders. One of them literally said to me yesterday, "I'm not." I was like, "He doesn't miss a Chelsea final, like never. He's been to Champions Leagues, FA Cups, all of it." He's like, "Oh no, I'm not associating myself with that. No, I don't go to them." And I'm like, "Wow."
I've not watched a single minute live.
Nobody. It's just like
I've not even watched the semi-final.
It just doesn't matter. Like you're Chelsea, like this competition just doesn't matter. It ranks lower than winning the Carabao Cup for sure. So Palmer's £10.5 million. That's the problem. That's a lot of money to be getting in for Cole Palmer, who still isn't putting up any consistent points. Like he got a 10-pointer against Liverpool and then follows it up with 2 points against Newcastle. A week before that was 3 points against Everton. So a little bit more faith in him because of what happened before. I do think that there's a decent chance that he returns with points against Man United because they're so bad. And I'm not saying Chelsea are good, but they're better than Man United are. So it's just the price point. Like I can't get to Palmer and Watkins really.
You've got to sell a Salah, or you've got to sell if you own him at De Bruyne, but we're saying we think De Bruyne starts versus Bournemouth. We're not going to sell De Bruyne to Palmer, are we? Like I
would have to take a punt on Salah to Palmer.
which feels risky knowing Salah's got Palace on the final day. We lift a trophy at Anfield, and he could be going for individual records, and
Yeah.
he's not going to want to lift a trophy with that goal.
It depends what you're chasing at this point, really. Like, if you've got a chase to win, then get rid of Salah because everyone's already got him.
Yeah.
And you might as well. Like, so I'm in a situation where actually I could do that. I could get rid of Salah and Isak and bring in Watkins and Palmer.
Yeah.
And that might give me a chance of captain one of them. And I might have a chance of catching this guy in the 40 points in the mini league because he won't do that. He's a Liverpool fan, so he definitely won't be getting rid of Salah. That's the sort of thing I think we're looking at right now. Obviously, that's not affecting your overall rank, but you've got to look at these little difference makers right now and just take a gamble unless you're trying to hold a spot in the top 10k or something.
Yeah, if you do go Palmer, it does rule out probably getting to Saka unless you go Palmer this week and then Saka next. Saka in 38, probably going to be my captain. Newcastle, by the way, awesome. Worth noting, they're now looking likely to get top 5, but still have got to go and ideally get something against Arsenal. It's a tough game, but then I think they've got a good game week 38 fixture. That's going to be interesting. Newcastle versus Arsenal. What do we do with Isak, Dean? Because he's a similar price point. In fact, if you own Isak, you can get to Watkins because Watkins is cheaper. That's going to be the template transfer. And I think this week, Isak out, Watkins in. Isak has Arsenal. Watkins we've just spoken about has Spurs. Watkins on the final day as well. I think it's got a really good fixture. I can't remember off the top of my head. Is it Man United? I think it is. I think Watkins now plays the two teams that we've been saying we should be targeting.
Right.
And Isak, who does Isak have on the final day? I think it's home to Everton, isn't it? So it's a good fixture, but the Arsenal fixture's tough. You don't go to the Emirates and get much change. Although Isak, he is one player that does. He's got previous for the semi-finals of the EFL Cup where he absolutely schooled Saliba and Gabriel. I was quite surprised by that. I've never seen them bossed like that.
Yeah, Newcastle got Everton the last day of the season. So I like that. And that's what the fear is of getting rid of him for Arsenal away, is that I quite like the Newcastle having Everton at home last day of the season. And to compare that against Watkins, who's got Man United away. I don't know, man.
Yeah, Man United are done by that point.
They're done.
But also, don't you think Everton will feel like they're done? Because the 37 fixture for Everton at Goodison Park is going to... There's going to be a huge amount of final day of the season feel about that. It's goodbye Goodison Park. We've probably just beaten Southampton. There's going to be the wives and the kids on the pitch. They're gonna in their heads be done for the season in 37.
Yeah. True. So I think I'd rather have Isak on the last day of the season.
I know. So it does beg the question: should we really be buying Watkins? It's just buy Watkins if you think he's the best captaincy option, and that's what we'll discuss later. Captaincy is the biggest part of this game. Thoughts on Mateta to Watkins and Murphy to Enzo? Yeah, I like them. I don't know if I love Enzo, but I guess you've got like 5 million to spend on a midfielder, and he's so cheap. He's been brilliant. He's been just as good as Palmer. He's been better than Palmer, considerably better than Palmer in the last 4 or 5 months. Plays in a similar position to him as well. They're both sort of with Lavia back. Enzo's got huge license to get forward. So yeah, I like that. Thank you, Andrea, for the super chat.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Marino's obviously like weighed in again at the weekend with a few points, and I think he's been overlooked this season a lot. Marino, as an option that we could and maybe should have all taken up at stages in this season, but I'll probably leave that one for now. But yeah, Enzo, I think given that fixture and given that Chelsea has still got plenty on the line, I think that's a lot to consider. David says Arsenal without Rice worries me. Yeah, Rice got a slight problem at the moment that Arsenal are managing. Doesn't really seem any reason to play him. I don't think they'll risk him.
Why risk it?
I think his season might be done. Mark says Reno Ricard. Yeah. I'm saying like generally, I think we should have
gone that direction.
We should have looked at that more often than we actually did as well at that price point. Yeah, because as soon as he started going 9, we should have probably trusted it more. But what was I saying?
Rice out for the season. Yeah. Probably out. Yeah, there's no point in risking Rice now. And obviously Arsenal don't play the Club World Cup either. So it's not like Well, yeah,
no reason. You just now give him a rest till next season. Like just leave him. He's had such a good
he needs
season.
one. He needs one. If you
Just
think
give
of
him the
West Ham
break.
and their cup run West Ham had. Oh
Mm.
no, hang on. Did he? He didn't win anything with West Ham, did he? That was the season before. Yeah. He left West Ham and then the year after they had the cup run.
Didn't
I
he
think.
win? No, he won the cup.
I remember. Was
I
he
think
part of that?
I think he won the cup and then left, didn't he? Yeah.
Was the cup last season?
No, it was the year
It
before.
was the year before where Bowen scored the win. Was that not last season?
No. Look at us with our knowledge. We talk about so much football, we forget who's done what
I
when.
can't remember if Rice was a part of that.
Rice. What he was like the talisman of that. That's the thing.
I picture Bowen when I think of European trophy for West Ham.
Yeah, Rice was FPL friendly. Rice was captain when they won the cup.
Okay, so God, it was 2 years ago.
It was
Christ.
2 years ago. Yeah, you threw me then, but yeah, Rice was
definitely.
definitely.
And then they sacked Moyes not long after.
Rice was definitely part of that. Won it and then left basically.
Yeah, so again, you look at that season, rammed. You look at last season, rammed for Rice. International tournaments too, and then like with Champions League, he plays all the time, so he hasn't had a break in ages. It will feel like that. Cam's been a member for a month. Vardy over Beto. Whew. I mean, we said we'd talk about Beto too. Maliki wants Beto.
Yeah.
Cam wants Vardy. Differential forwards with the armband, Dean. I quite like these 37 punts, because I think Cunha's a potential option if you own him as well.
Yeah. I mean, Beto's a decent. They're playing Southampton at home, as you say. Last game, Goodison. Maybe I go Isak to Beto.
Oh,
nobody saw coming. Maybe I have Beto and Vardy in my attack.
Mate, Beto is scoring. Like you saw Beto against Fulham, he looked really good. He scored a goal versus Fulham that you wouldn't usually score, like on the angle from distance. Like
I mean,
Beto's...
how that's gone in, I don't know how it's gone in, but yeah.
I hit the target. And
I was not happy losing 3-1 at home to Everton. I can tell you that much. But do you know what? I think there's something to be said about that. Beto and Vardy up front.
Yeah, you'll have a lot of money. That will get you to Cole Palmer.
Will get me to Cole Palmer for sure.
I mean, how much is Beto? 5 million, 5.2? I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Evan Nilsson, by the way, as a final, if you're on the market for cheap strikers and you want to sell Beto on the final day because you don't want to go to Newcastle away, Evan Nilsson's got Leicester at home, I think, in 38, and he's under 6 million. Evan Nilsson, 5.8, I think.
Yeah.
So you could go Beto this week, Evan Nilsson next.
Definitely.
Had all the cheap strikers in the last month of the season.
Honestly, yeah, this is where we're at. Paul, who's one of our elite members, says any defender that you can recommend. Well, Gvardiol, if you got him, always Gvardiol.
Clean sheets can't be predicted at this point in the season. They're so difficult.
So difficult. I mean,
Nottingham Forest were meant to keep a clean versus Leicester. I had double Forest defence, and Connor Cody scored in the 20th minute.
Yeah, I guess when you look at the fixtures, we just talked about Everton from attacking perspective. Also, I've just said Southampton had 8 touches in the box against Man City at the weekend. Like there was very little goal threat from them or ambition from them. So maybe there's an argument to be made that you could look at an Everton defender on form. Mykolenko 4.3. He'd probably be your best bet, I think. Michael Keane, though, he's 3.8.
Oh,
like Keane at 3.8 playing against Southampton.
Guys, I would say do not waste a transfer in a million years on a defender now. It's done. Like, yeah, go buy Mykolenko and you get maybe a clean sheet for Southampton, then you lose it in against Newcastle. The transfers we're using now have to chase upside. And there ain't a defender in the game that Daniel Munoz's fine, but we don't know about 2 starts. Aït-Nouri gives you some upside, Gvardiol at times, but we're talking like brace potential, hat-trick potential. Go use your transfers on attacking players.
Yeah. Geddy says Cucurella v Man United could be a nice punt. He's been shooting a lot for Chelsea.
Yeah, he scores like 4 goals a season. Like these are huge punts. Go buy a striker that scores 15 goals a season.
Yeah, they're all suggesting Colm says Branthwaite for Everton defender. Paul said, okay, G, good call. Cam said, I wouldn't use transfers on defenders. Low ceiling, focus on the attackers, which is exactly 100%. What our man G just said.
Cam was typing that as I said it, I reckon. He was like...
he knew what you were saying.
Oh, he's just said that. Yeah, nice. Okay, guys, I think we're aligned there. I think we're aligned. All right, so that's where we're at in terms of big talking points from the week ahead. We've got to talk about captaincy though, and we're going to do a captaincy poll and then react to what you guys vote for. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, we would love you to hit the like button. It's the first time we've asked for likes, and we're at 39 minutes. It's always around 37, 39 minutes. I remember I haven't done likes and subscribes. So guys, we need 10k by the end of the season.
Are we now 30 away or something? Like this is like
clock is ticking though, mate. Clock is ticking.
I know.
We need this, guys. Come on. There's
this.
loads watching that haven't subscribed. We'd love you to hit that button.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, please do like, and more importantly, subscribe if you can. Actually, no, even if you don't like us, just do it anyway. Just help the lads out.
Subscribe at the end of the season. You
Yeah,
can get us to 10k, and then we'll hit pre-season. We'll be like, oh, we're 9.9. Damn, we've got to do it all again.
Oh dear. Right, yeah. So teams to target this week. Just to quickly recap on that one. Tottenham, who are away to Aston Villa, like definitely have to be targeted. Man United away to Chelsea. Both of those are Friday games, but Man United and Tottenham are going to lose, right?
Yeah.
They're going to lose. Southampton, target them Sunday against Everton. Obviously, no Saturday games, I assume. No Saturdays because of the FA Cup final, I assume?
Yes. Yeah.
Which is a bit weird.
Yeah. It's weird having the FA Cup final before
now, and they get their own day for it, but
yeah.
Whatever. Leicester, Ipswich, I mean, target either of those teams if you want. They're playing against each other. And then, who's the other one you think to target? Crystal Palace with Wolves?
Well, I just think, I don't know. Wolves haven't got much to play for. I don't know if I'd go and buy a Cunha or an Aït-Nouri, but I'm excited to own Cunha and Aït-Nouri. I think Palace, whether they win or lose, I think they'll struggle on Tuesday night, even at home to Wolves. I think it will be a very different Palace performance to what we've seen. I think there'll be a hangover.
Yeah, definitely.
So I like Cunha and Aït-Nouri for that fixture, but obviously Wolves have nothing to play for, but they've been really good with nothing to play for recently, other than the weekend.
Yeah, they're hard to get a handle on, really, aren't they? What about Nottingham Forest? They go to West Ham.
Oh, mate. I mean, how did Forest not beat Leicester? I bought Elanga.
I mean, the owner took it so well as well.
What do you make of that?
I mean, to be honest, like I don't mind it because, in a sense, like at least he cares. Like you get so many clubs where the owners are like absent,
not even there,
or not don't go to games, or like just passive and just like want to take the money. He obviously isn't ideal, but he's always been like this. There's always the threat of it. It's just how he is, and so I'm like,
he's a hothead. Mediterranean, like it's just
do you
part
want,
of
do you want Daniel Levy, or do you want that?
And he's pumped a lot of money in. Like you got to, it wasn't that long ago Forest were in the Championship, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously frustrated about the injury thing as well. I didn't watch that game in its entirety, so I don't know what the narrative was around him getting injured when he flew into the post or whatever happened, but
yeah, I didn't. I missed
it.
And I'm glad I missed it, because I think as an Elanga owner, I'd have been really disappointed, because I think from looking at Elanga's like underlying data in the game and just the amount of chances Forest had, I'm guessing I was close to a lot more than I got. I got 1 assist, but yeah, his XGI 0.37, so pretty useful. But maybe that's fair. Chris Wood as well, I know could have scored again, and it was weird. Chris Wood scoring, but not getting the 3 bonus points.
Yeah.
Chris Wood, every time he scores, gets 3 bonus, but usually it's part of a 1-0 win or a 2-0 win. When it's 2-2, you're competing with 4 other goals. And yeah, Wood didn't get them. So that was interesting, because a fair few went to Wood and a fair few captain Wood, to be fair.
Yeah.
The subscribes are coming in, Dean, I hope. Cam says, worth a subscribe for the summer of Dean's transfer insight. I love that. Thanks, Cam. We'll definitely make sure we try and do some of that this summer as well, with Dean obviously working full time on transfers through the summer. Your busy time, Dean.
It is my busy time. Yeah, it's already ramping up.
Should we go captaincy chat?
I'm waking up in the middle of the night checking my phone already. So yeah, let's do captaincy chat. Let's do captaincy chat.
All right. Should we end the show with a bit of transfer chat as well, though? Because we've teed it up there. I feel like we should. And
yeah,
Cam
get some questions in, and I'll do them at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Transfer questions, guys. If you want to get them in, we will get to them by the end of the show. Captaincy, then. We've put on Burmo, Salah, Watkins, but there are, of course, lots of other options. Where are you at the moment, Dean? When you first looked at your bus team, who did you put the armband on? I went straight to Burmo because I fancy that Fulham are done. Like Marco Silva chat, going to Saudi, losing to Everton, the season's over. We know Brentford need to win to get European football next year, or they'll feel like they need to win. They might not even need the win to get it, but they need it. It's the big derby for Brentford is Fulham. And Burmo could be his last game at G-Tech. Like the narrative's there for me.
Yeah, Fulham don't do well there. We don't have a good record. I don't think there's any Fulham fans looking forward to the game. We used to look forward to playing Brentford and sometimes still do, but the timing of this one is bad. I thought we'd be kind of neck and neck with them going into this game. We'd both be fighting for Europe, which would be incredible, really. Fulham and Brentford in a European battle, considering when I first started going to watch Fulham, we were in like League Two or something. So both come a long way. There's absolutely no way I can captain Burmo based on the fact that he's playing against Fulham, and I just can't handle that. It doesn't make it any better for me if he scores that I get the points, especially so many people are going to captain him anyway, that it's not going to mean enough to me. So I'll kind of keep him in my team just so that I don't lose too many points if that happens. But I'll look for captaincy elsewhere, and it might be Vardy. It might be Vardy. Like my team set up as it is right now, it would be Vardy.
Interesting. Guys, let us know the differential punts you're looking at for captaincy. We have got a poll running, and actually this has got a slightly more on Burmo votes than perhaps I expected. Watkins still on top though. Dean, is there a worry with Ollie Watkins that if he's having a bad game, just like he was 2 weeks ago, where he missed a chance? Was it against Fulham? He got like 60, 70 minutes 2 weeks ago. He came off and Marlon came on. Like, there's no guarantee you get 90 minutes from Watkins anymore, even with obviously no Rashford. But Marlon could come off the bench. How do you feel about Watkins? Firstly, as someone you might buy. And
I might buy him. And if I bought him, I probably would captain him. So there is that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I don't really see the point of buying him and not captaining him, to be honest.
True, because you're selling Isak, who's so good on the final day. Like
exactly, like I've got to chase something there, and he would probably be. I'd have him down against Tottenham at home as a better captaincy option than Jamie Vardy, who I'm currently considering. Like Jamie Vardy is captain against is a complete punt, really. Like it's just complete hope that his last ever home game for Leicester, he has one of his moments. But they're also rubbish. So at least Villa are good and should beat Tottenham.
Yeah. Dean, I've just thought of a way of celebrating if we were to get to 10K today. Seeing as I'm behind a wheel, I could, if we got 10K in the next 13 minutes, I could live on air, and it'd be safe because I'm hands-free. I could drive to my local little village and show the camera and toot at some like people and like shout CK at them. So guys, hit the subscribe button today, and if we do it in the next 13 minutes, I will take us out on a little journey in this car.
That would be funny. The producer will have to let us know how we're getting on with that. I'm all for it. I'd love to see that. So we've got 10 minutes to sort that out. If you're going to subscribe, do it now. We'll go on a little drive with Gianni. Salah chat before we get to that. Looking at his recent point returns, obviously not great. Everyone and their dog owns him. I'm bored of him at this point, if I'm totally honest. But I don't want to miss the points against Crystal Palace. But everyone's going to have those anyway. So what am I really gaining on the last day? Like,
true. It'll be 100% EO.
What's the point of you owning Salah on the last day of the season?
Yeah, but only worth selling him if I think there's someone I really want to jump on.
No, of course, yeah. But if you can find someone, there are look, the last day of the season's wild. Like there'll be stuff happening that will lead to random points. It might be Bournemouth against Leicester.
Private captain for me.
There you go. Bournemouth, yeah, exactly. Yeah, could be Newcastle beating Everton at home. Could be Arsenal going to Southampton and smashing them. I think there's a good case to ditch Salah now. If you're not just retaining a position, then I'm genuinely at the case where I'm like, what is the point?
Oh, I hear you. I don't think I can't see myself doing it because I simply think he scores good FPL points in the next two. Now, this is his run and it's bad. And this graphic does not include the 2-pointer he got at the weekend, right? So it continues to get worse. By the way, shout out Maliki. He saw my appeal for subs and went, oh, poor Gianni, he's not going to be able to go on his little drive-by tour of the local village because he's not going to get 10k. So as a nice gesture, he's going to chuck us a bone with 5 memberships. So our producer will be very happy with that. So shout out Maliki. And
that was cool. Thanks, Maliki.
Those that won Dean, they'll get a members only video probably from both of us this week.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely do a members video each this week. Yeah, for sure. I'll go and sit in a nice spot in San Diego and do mine as well. So I'll find a nice little area, and you can see the nice scenes of San Diego behind me. And I'm sure you can find somewhere near you because it's not too bad where you are either.
To some old deers or something.
We've come a long way since we started this show, mate. In like random, just little towns in England.
Yeah, although I'm going back there in 6 weeks.
Well, I'm not convinced you are. I think you seem to be loving it over there. I reckon you might stay.
Yeah, I'd love to. I would love to. But the real world catches up with you at some point. I'll be like, oh, damn. Got to snap back to reality. I've got a mortgage to pay.
Just rent it out.
Yeah, I wish I'd done that. Yeah. There we go. Where's the chat? I ditched Salah for Sharda. That's the sort of inspired move
I forgot.
talking about.
I nearly did it.
So
my transfer that I almost did. I was like, if I was going to gamble on Friday, I sat there. I was like, if I'm going to gamble, what do I gamble on right now? And obviously, I've got Marlon just as a loser in my squad at the moment. I was like, I could do Marlon to Sharda and just start Sharda, and I did it, and then I was like, no, save the 2 transfers for next week. Just leave it.
Oh, mate, that would have been
so nice. That would have been nice. So the problem was I didn't know whose place he would actually take in my 4 midfield. And Burmo, Salah, Rodgers, and Saka. And obviously, Rodgers ended up with a return. I wasn't going to start him instead of Saka or Salah or Burmo, really. So I was like, it was a bit of a weird one. So I didn't go with it, and I couldn't. Oh my God! Now Paul's gifted some memberships.
Oh, that's quality, Paul. Brian won, Jamil won, Rushy won. Yeah, lovely stuff. Thank you, Paul. Do you know what, mate? We're going to have to give some memberships on Friday. Should we do that on Friday? Give 5 as well?
Let's do it. Tom, who's playing against me in the semi-final of the CGA Elite Members FPL Cup, says, I'm playing Dean in the semi-final this weekend. How much do I have to super chat to let me choose his captain?
Ask the producer. Or get us to 10k today, and Dean will captain Vardy.
Yeah, get us to 10k, Tom, and I'll captain whoever you want. Channel above everything, right? But yeah, looking forward to the game.
He's jumped on it.
What we got?
Brian's jumped on
too. Oh my days! Everyone's going to have a membership by the end of this show. What a lovely community. What a lovely bunch you are.
Who's feeling left out? Should we do a poll now? There's only 187 watching, and we've already got quite a few members, especially those in the chat.
If we can't be many without.
Are you a member? Yes or no? It'll be close to 50-50.
Not many without. No, that's very kind. Thank you, everyone, for doing that. That's great.
We said we would do. If you do want to buy a membership, Matthew, or anyone, then absolutely no obligation whatsoever. But just if you want to, and there's a way of supporting the channel, but also seeing our extra content, seeing all the we engage with you more in the shows. There is a join button below somewhere where you can do that.
Yeah, and also you can upgrade to the elite group too, where you can join the WhatsApp. Remember, you can always get involved in the WhatsApp group, which is still non-stop. Like, even at this stage of the season, people are still talking all the time. Not even always about FPL, just about football in general. We're chatting about the Classico the other day, a few other bits and pieces. So if you just love football and just want a few lads to chat to throughout the day, then feel free to come and join us over there.
Okay, nice.
I love Coleman's picture. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
An old school Dutch shirt, is it?
Dean, as promised, we will continue our FPL chat on Friday. Me, you, and Big Man. It'll be a bit more. We'll get some more valuable FPL tips from Big Man on Friday. So make sure you tune in for that. We might even have some sort of Wednesday team reveal or something with Big Man because it's a Friday deadline. We'll do an early deadline stream on Friday, guys. Do not miss that one. It will be brilliant, I'm sure. We're going to do a bit of transfer chat, Dean. We've got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The biggest stories of the window, but let's try and go round some key FPL assets, right? First of all, Brian and Burmo. Where is he next season?
Well, Man United could go for him mainly if they don't get Liam Delap. They want some
next question.
Proven reliable goal scorers. And that's why they're getting Cunha. That's why they like Burma. They regularly score goals in the Premier League and also will try their luck from anywhere. They don't feel they've got enough people in the right areas trying to score and actually scoring. So that's why they're looking at it. But Burma is like buying Newcastle too. Arsenal were actually the first team to check out Burma. I don't think they'll do it. But Eddie says, Man United looking at Jonathan Tah. I'd say tentatively. I don't think that Jonathan Tah will join Man United. Cam says, is Delap still a United priority or have Chelsea?
They're all United fans. It's such a United channel, this, mate, honestly.
The best thing you could ever do in life is start a Man United YouTube channel because there are so many fans out there. Delap is the priority. They don't know yet if he is their top choice as to where he wants to end up. He's literally got half the Premier League after him, and he's got a few clubs abroad as well. So we'll have to wait to see. I think it could depend on what happens in the Europa finals, to be honest. Watkins to Arsenal, I don't think that will happen.
The boyhood fan.
Liverpool ins and outs. There'll be a lot. Dean Howson is definitely one that they've looked at recently. They think that he can change the way that they play out of the back without Trent, rather than having Trent kind of go and play in midfield and how he progresses the ball. They think that Howson could do that from centrally, and they could just play Connor Bradley in a different way at right back, and they can build out from there. So that's one. They'll definitely sign a forward. I think there's a 50-50 chance Isak ends up at Liverpool. I think that there's still a chance that happens.
Liverpool or stays at Newcastle. They're the only two you see.
Arsenal like him. Chelsea like him. I think that Liverpool is the biggest lure for him right now. I think Liverpool seem to be the only one with any confidence at all that they could get him out of there. I think they would have had a better chance if Newcastle weren't going to qualify for the Champions League. I think he might be more tempted to hang around for that after helping to get them there. But he is not on a good contract at Newcastle, Alex Isak.
No, yeah.
And that is something in the background that needs to be sorted out if he's going to stay. And if Liverpool were to try and sign you right now, I think most people would go. Donnarumma to City, no.
Inter, he's going to Inter, back to Milan, the other side.
Harvey Elliott rumours, yes or no? If you mean about the rumour of him coming back to Fulham, I find it hard to believe. I think the idea was floated. Harvey Elliott gets booed, taunted by Fulham fans. Like Fulham don't really do that to people. But
does Carvalho get booed? No.
I mean, he probably does. I think they're probably the only two. I think they're probably the only two that actually get a hard time. But Harvey Elliott, Fulham fans really, really did not like for the way he left. So I find it hard to believe. But I do think that Harvey Elliott could end up at Wolves. So look out for that one. I don't know anything about Saints' new manager, I'm afraid. That's not in my wheelhouse. Kirkes could also end up at Liverpool. Heather, you're supposed to be driving. I hope you're not typing that way.
No, it was only the first half an hour she was driving.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Garnacho shoots from everywhere, says Insider Gamer. Yeah, what Dean means is...
What's he shoot at?
He wants players that can overperform their XG, and Garnacho is greedy. And honestly, the entire United 11 underperforms their XG pretty much. What about Wirtz? this is huge money for Bayern, because Bayern have been linked today with someone else that's again big money, and I'm like, how are they signing two huge stars like on those contracts?
It's a weird one because Man City have been waiting for an answer from him, whether he's going to join him or not. They really want him, Man City.
Yeah, he's an upgrade on an Eze or a Gibbs White. Like, he is as good as you can buy.
Yeah, and obviously they're looking for someone to take over from De Bruyne, and Wirtz is top choice. They've got a proposal in place, etc., etc. They've expected that he will probably choose Bayern Munich, but if he was to leave Germany, then Man City have always believed that they'll sign him, that he's the top destination for him. At the moment, it looks like he's going to Bayern Munich. And if that happens, then Man City probably sign Gibbs White or possibly Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig. Yeah, Insane Gamer says Borgen gives to Man City. I don't think I get that. Yeah, I'd say Gibbs White is next on the list, and then I'd say Xavi Simons is next after that. Eze at the moment, they haven't really looked into it, but I think we'll wait to find out how Eze feels at the end of the season, because I find it hard to believe that he will stay at Crystal Palace for another year. But at the same time, are Palace going to lose Eze, Gehi, Wharton, Mateta? They're not going to lose all of them. So
no, like Elise, it'll be one goes. You'd expect like one big.
It might be two this time. Yeah, it might be. I think they have to cash in on Gehi. And they might have to lose it. They might. Like they hope not, but we'll wait and see.
Guys, Chelsea. We'll ask Dean on this one. Dean, keep him. Let's keep him hanging. Friday, Osimhen chat on Friday.
Okay.
We're past the hour. Mark, we love you very much. We know you'll be with us on Friday.
There's a lot of questions we were getting then. Yeah, it's like a transfer show all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly. I'm leaving Dean with some
chasing transfers
up in the bank. Chasing transfers. Nice. I like that. Chelsea and Arsenal strikers we'll get to. We'll talk into that. We'll talk Osimhen at the end or maybe even the start of Friday's show, guys. If you've enjoyed today, we would love, and we know we can do this on catch up, so we would love you to hit that subscribe button on your way out.
Yeah, we didn't get the 30, did we? No.
Yeah, but we could on catch up. You never know.
We could on catch up. Yeah, the catch up. Yeah.
So, guys, thank you very much.